Got nothing built.
Oh man.
I have models downstairs. I have like 6, 7 models. I have 8 with the Proteus from Fantastic Voyage that I have not touched in in 3 years. I've been just doing, oh, here we are. We're live now in the shop.
There we go.
Okay,
Should
cool.
have popped up. So I did have to go back and check through um well that's not because I had it set for AM. I had it set up to stop at 11 a.m. instead of 11 p.m. for T Nathan, and so
Oh,
I had to change that for T Nathan. Right? So
yeah,
other than
it's set
that,
up
that
for
was
mountain time. And
yeah.
it's really weird because
It's just it's odd.
mountain time is
Like
what? Is
2 hours behind.
two
Um,
2 hours. Yeah, two
yeah,
hours. All right.
and you think that it would, kind of adjust itself for time zones,
No.
but hey, it is what it is, I guess.
It is the bastard child of Vazquez. So. Okay.
And da, 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 da.
After I guess after the show, I'll tell you the entire story of Helios. I'll tell you what the whole thing is supposed to be about. Because I
Mm,
because I
yeah,
because I
man.
already know about the script and Steve told me about it, but I was like, okay.
So you're gonna have to tell me because he's tight-lipped about that with me. But he
Yeah,
he
I can't say that over the air, but
right he texted me and Gretchen a couple days ago,
oh,
and
cool.
he has he talked to Cindy and talked to uh, who was it of? But I know Cindy and Cindy Dolick and I can tell you just a second. They're interested in coming on. So
Oh, cool.
Cindy and Tom McLaren. Yep.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep. And so we're trying to get them. I don't know, but Gretchen sent out an email to them and
Okay,
trying to get them set up to either come on to our next recording or the one following that one.
right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, man. We're getting some true nerd cred out here.
Yeah, pretty soon you guys will be on VidCon. Be
Right?
going like to VidCon. That'd be pretty cool.
So right?
Yeah.
You know what I told Gretchen that I said pretty soon we're gonna get to the point where Adam Nimoy is gonna pay us 500 to want to come on the show. First thing she replied was she sent me a reply back and said, Adam who? I said exactly.
Adam, Elon who?
Said who? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
Auto DJ is working good, so the schedule is working on that. All right, and it's gonna be. It is. Once getting all the show times and everything down, and working around with the auto DJ, then I should be able to kind of tighten those dead spaces down a little bit from 5 minutes to about like maybe 2 minutes or 3.
Did you want to do it like for do you want to like have it cut off at 15 minutes? Because sometimes you need prep before the show. That's usually, I don't know if you want to do that, but
Oh, no, I
maybe
mean,
10 minutes might be good. I know
I don't
we
know.
want
I
to
mean,
do it
as far
up
as
to the hour, up
no,
to the hour, but
I don't know. As far as I guess going live on socials and stuff like that. That's just we just go live when we go live.
yeah.
As far as going live on the radio, then that's when we gotta. Um, that's when I want to tighten down the dead air time because I
Oh,
don't want
okay.
it just as,
All right.
to just be like hours and hours and hours of dead time. You know.
Yeah, I know, because Jeff always, says to me, well, are we on? I was like, no, the auto DJ goes, it's 5 minutes until that. You can get all your F bombs out now before you go to the 5 minute mark, and then
Right.
and then you're live. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And so I'm trying to.
try to
If I,
impress,
I want to, I
try
want
to
to,
impress him about,
yeah, I want to tighten that down as best as I can. So
yeah.
so if and make it as seamless as a transition from music to a show starting, and then when a show ends, and then the DJ kicks back in,
Right. We should have like a big green button and a big red button, like green,
right?
it's on, red, it's off.
But see, it never worked, man, because that makes sense. We know that whatever makes sense, it never works.
That's true. All right.
And
It is
so
6 o'clock.
it is 6 o'clock, and we are here at the help desk. I am Gilbert, the angry IT nerd, and I am here with George, the techno genius of GCPR. And
Where?
so,
Where? Where? What techno genius? Oh, me. Thank you so much for.
yes,
Thank you. I got
so,
cred
I mean,
there.
he is,
I got some nerd cred there.
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, he is smarter than everybody. He's smarter than the average bear.
I'm smarter than the average. I'm not smarter than you are. Let's put it that way. I may be more experienced in certain things, but not smarter. You definitely hold the record for being smarter because you're doing an app. I can't do an app. I
So, and speaking of that, yeah, um, the app is it, I'm working on an app, Android app for everybody that's listening, and also I want to set this on the record because Thomas out here spreading lies earlier this morning, saying that I hate Apple. I don't hate Apple. Okay, I don't hate Apple. So, Thomas, first thing, I don't hate Apple. I don't hate Apple users. I don't hate y'all. What I do not like about Apple is sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to work with. A little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. That is my only main gripe. But much like everything else, it can be a little bit difficult to work with. Windows, Android, it can be a little bit difficult to work with. Linux, Unix, Jesus Christ, the Unix. So, with that being said, GCPR Android app is in development. If you would like to sign up and become a beta tester, email us at gcprhelpdesk@gmail.com with the subject line of beta tester. Again, you can see it written out here. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or any one of our socials, gcprhelpdesk@gmail.com with the subject of beta tester. And with that, once the Android app is fully finished and launched, then the iOS app will be coming immediately after. And so Thomas, out here spreading lies, man. Out here spreading lies.
Well,
But still love you, man.
after this past weekend, I'm working on Jeff's Apple. I can honestly say I hate Apple. Oh my God. I mean,
Again, yeah,
I,
like I said, little
I,
little little bit difficult to work
I
with.
sat there from 11 o'clock in the morning until I think we got done at 11 o'clock at night. And the easiest thing for me to do was to put RAM into the computer. That was the easiest thing to do. And what I
I'm not
found
surprised.
was, yeah, well,
I'm not surprised.
and I'm looking at Jeff's computer and he's like, is this going to take long? And I was like, I can't. I said,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe not.
maybe, maybe not.
Maybe,
Maybe go
maybe
to
not.
church, go light some candles. I don't know. It's just so, but it was a pain in the butt. And Apple has so many safeguards
Yeah.
in place when
Mm-hmm.
you um, try to, I guess, upgrade an operating system. So apparently, he has something called High Sierra.
Uh-huh.
After High Sierra, I believe it's Mojave. After Mojave, it's I'm gonna say it's Big Sur. I forget what I forget what the order was, but anyway, he bought 32 gigs of RAM. He had eight. I took the eight out.
Mm-hmm.
I put 32 gigs in. That
Mm-hmm.
was four
That four slots, and so it's like eight
four.
gig,
Yeah, it
like
was
eight
four
gigs
slots
of
of eight, right?
yeah, eight
So
gig
because eight
sticks.
times four
Yeah,
is 32. Okay,
yeah.
I had to get that back in my head. Okay, and I was like, okay, so I got the 32 gigs of RAM in. He has a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's a spinning
Okay.
platter. It's not an SSD. 1 terabyte, plenty of space.
Okay.
Processor is Intel Core i7. I believe it's a seventh generation, processor. Core i7,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
So
three.
definitely,
It's like 3.2 gigahertz speed. It's plenty fast.
yeah, absolutely.
And we bought, or he bought a um he bought a 6-in-1 operating system on a flash drive. So it was like six operating systems.
All
So
right.
it was supposed. I think the latest is Sonoma. It had Ventura. It had Monterey. Monterey is version 12. Now version 12 works with Streamlabs. That is the minimum. That is the minimum operating system that you would need to run the Streamlabs desktop. Jeff is now running the web version, and the web version does not give you the functionality of everything from the desktop. So that's what we were actually aiming for. So I said, okay, let's see how to set this up. It comes with instructions how to set it up. You could do a clean boot, you could format the entire drive, and you could put the operating system onto that, or you could do what's known as an I guess it's like an update, but it's like an upgrade where you keep all of your files
Okay.
and then you just upgrade the operating system and then everything just falls into place.
All right.
You would think
All right. Simple
this is
enough.
Apple now.
Simple process. Simple process. But
If you hadn't lost any hair yet, you're going to lose more hair over this Apple thing. And Thomas might be right about, well, he might be right about it, but I'm not sure. But anyway,
hey, well, I'm just saying is that I don't hate Apple users.
no, no,
No,
no.
I don't hate. I let's see Thomas out here spreading lies saying I hate Apple users. I don't hate Apple users. Apple
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Right.
right.
So we're, yeah,
So
we're just going to hate the game.
said I don't hate Apple. I don't hate Apple. I mean, Apple has its place. You
Yep.
know that place varies. Um,
You're holding the door open, maybe
whether holding door open,
third base. I, I don't know.
um, you know, unclogging the toilet, uh,
Yeah,
you
something
know,
like that.
you know, scraping out scraping out trash bins. Um,
Yeah, basically, yeah, that was basically what Saturday was. Saturday was just that.
so
So,
yeah,
and I said to myself, this computer is fast. It's a really fast computer. Why can't I put this on here? Well, apparently, Apple has these safeguards in place. These safeguards.
right.
Safeguards is a relative term, meaning that if Apple put these safeguards in place, they want you to buy a faster computer that
Mm-hmm.
that has a little less safeguard and a little bit more functionality, a little bit faster speed. And I was like, how could you get any faster than 32 gigs of RAM? I mean,
Right.
you know,
I mean, you got 32 gigs of RAM in an i7 processor.
so um,
By all accounts, I mean, you should, at most, I would see maybe about 2 hours, but that would just simply be because of just getting the software set up.
right. Yeah. I mean, I figured 2 hours. No, it didn't happen that way. So we tried, um, uh, we tried to keep the files. So Jeff goes, well, all I need is like the butt software for broadcasting. I just need the Star Trek sounds. I need the Kennedy, song and all this other stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
everything else, I don't need because most of his documents were in Google Drive or whatever, wherever it was, but it was all online. I said, okay, that's great. So we could blow the partition away if we needed to, start with a
Right.
clean boot.
Okay.
So we tried it the one way where we, tried to keep all the files. It didn't want to work. And it kept going back to High Sierra. Every other operating system we tried to put on there had this big circle with a line through it. No, you're not going to do it. No, you're not going to do it. No, you're not going to do it. And I'm like, I know that the computer can run it. I just need
Yeah.
something like an intermediary to load the bootloader, and the bootloader would not load. I was so pissed off. I was like, and I was looking all over. So I get home from, Jeff, he picked me up, he drove me home, and I was like so tired on Saturday night, and I was just in bed. I couldn't sleep. I was like, I have to go to my computer. I just have to look this thing up. And I researched this thing till 3 or 4 in the morning. And I was like, okay, I think I found something. There is an application. It's a website called It's Open Core Legacy Patcher, and
Okay.
it is a utility to patch newer operating systems to older processors or like for older computers.
Okay.
Just like for older iMacs. So the guy who does the video, I forget his name, but anyway, he has this thick Scottish accent. Now, if you've ever heard the Scottish accent, me, I need subtitles, but he's got this
Right.
thick, but I mean, I could basically understand where he's going. He shows you step by step how to do it. And he patched, I think, no, yeah, he patched the newest Sonoma onto a dual core processor. Now, dual core is like the slowest thing ever, for all you computer buffs out there. But and he had 8 gigs of RAM with a 256. I think he had like a like an SSD hard drive. It may be a little bit slower on Jeff's because he has the spinning platter, but he's got 1 terabyte, which is more than enough.
Yeah,
He's
but I
got
mean,
32 gigs of RAM with a Core i7. This thing should go like that.
yeah,
But he basically shows you what the open core patcher does is it gets around those Apple safeguards. So I watched the video, and the video shows you step by step how to do it. And I was like, my God, if I had had this video before we did this,
that'll save you so much time and so much headaches.
yeah, I
and
would
so
have
much
been done.
frustration.
It would have been done with that, and then I can
Yeah.
move on to like the MacBook and all this other stuff. So this Friday, we're going to try to do this remotely, which I know is not going to work because I'm going to be using, I use a remote application called AnyDesk.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
AnyDesk is good if you, I'm apparently going from Windows to a Mac with AnyDesk should work if you have a subscription. I do not have a subscription. And I don't think it's going to work. So I am going to I'm going to let Jeff try to do this, but I'm going to try to guide him through it.
Yeah.
While hopefully looking at him do it and yelling and screaming and throwing the computer against the wall. So this is going to be fun. I think we should actually record this one because I think we could put this on the Patreon and see what goes on behind the scenes when nobody knows what's going on.
So how the sausage is made, how the sausage is made video.
I mean, I think this could be like a pay-per-view event, probably bigger than WWE. Dude, I think this could actually work. I think this could actually work. Yeah.
I know in that situation it would be just absolutely hilarious.
Now
to see Jeff just kind of go off.
Did you
like that.
now? Okay, if I'm on with him,
Mm-hmm.
he'll start cursing. If you're on the same call, if you want to be on the same call on Saturday night, I don't know what you're doing on Saturday. Well, wait a minute. It was either going to be Friday night or Saturday. I don't know what you're doing. Are you doing Superplex?
No.
Okay.
No, there is a pay-per-view, but we're not doing any kind of streaming on it though. But
Okay. I mean, if you wanted to be on the call, then he won't curse. He'll be like, well, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm on the call, just him and me, he'll be cursing up a storm.
I don't know.
So he may kind of tone it down.
I don't know how much my presence is going to tone it down. If he just gets that frustrated, it's just like screw it, let it fly.
He'll just look at us and go, well, what do you think, guys? Well, what do you think is going to happen? It's like, I think you're going to get mad and you're going to kick it. I'm going to flip a coin. Oh, hey, what do you think, Gilbert? Well, I think you should really kick it. I think you should kick it. I think you should throw it against the wall.
I think he's going to get mad and kick it. Well, I think he's going to get heated and throw it.
So, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, that's
definitely sounds like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it could be a fun night. You never know. See how mad Jeff can get. He was getting mad like on Saturday night. He's sitting there and he's like going, I lost this and I lost that and I lost this. And I was like, but you said you had everything online. But I don't have this. I said, I asked you. I said, look, do you need this? And he goes, well, I need this. And we can go to the internet and go get these other things. Oh, okay, but it's not working like it did before. I understand that. That's why so we did a time machine backup, and the time machine backup didn't want to work. once we put the once we put the, because we had the old operating system on there and it was configured a certain way.
Right.
When we blew out the partition and the recovery partition and then put it back to the same operating system, it didn't work the way it did before, because those parameters were gone. That was done by backmarket. Backmarket basically did all that. And I was like, so they did it, I would assume, in a way, in accordance with Apple. We did it our own way and, basically got the same operating system back. Now, certain things actually started working again, like he couldn't hook the phone up to Bluetooth.
Okay.
On the old version. When we put the newer one back, or sorry,
the old new one.
Yeah, right. The old new one back. The Bluetooth started working, and I was like, "Look at that! You can connect your phone. Look at that! We might have functionality for the phone, and we could do the phone and everything."
Okay.
And he goes, "It's not working. It's not working." And he's like going, I'm really getting pissed off. I'm going to throw this thing against the wall. And I'm like, no, you're not going to throw a thing against the wall. Just calm down. But, so.
Yeah.
So for 11 hours straight, it was, yeah. But
I totally get that frustration.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's.
So if you want to have a good laugh on Friday night, here you go. And then we have our Saturday morning meeting. Then we could talk about it at the meeting. That would be great.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeff, you are a madman.
Yeah, Jeff, okay. You all right, man? You kind of was going up a little bit. I mean, you escalated quickly there. You went. At least
you have a little color in your face now. I mean,
you went from about a 4 to a 44 quick. I mean, you all right?
Your face is kind of red. Okay.
Like, you all right, man? I mean.
And he's looking at like different computers. I'm like, no, there has to be a workaround. Do not look at a different computer. He's like, I can't do the expense right now. I understand. I was like, look, the computer is plenty fast. It's a software thing. And then he said to me, you may figure it out like after you leave here. Like, you're going to figure it out in like 5 minutes after you leave here. Well, it was actually 3 hours after I left there that I figured it out. I think I figured it out. The legacy patcher should be able,
right,
to do it.
Because I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. The only the only issue with I think with Apple is that a lot of times with whatever actual machine it is, the serial number and or whatever identifying number, it's configured to that, and
right.
whatever operating system, whether it be Sierra, Mojave, Yosemite, whatever it is, and
right,
and it's only configured and accepts that.
Well,
if you go
onto the website, it has certain models and certain years that the core patcher will work for. Okay. And it has certain models like it'll do iMac 27-inch, I think 5K or 4K, like the Retina display, which is what Jeff's is. And it'll do MacBook, it'll do MacBook Air, it'll do the iPad, the newer iPads. So it'll work with all of these different things. And I may even try it on my old because I have an iPad 3 that I actually wanted to grade the operating system on, and I could try it on that, because I know that the processor is very fast on it.
Yeah, because if it'll work on that, then it should work with Jeff's too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
So
yeah. So there's that. Yeah. It was
so I
just
just know the fun I'm in for with doing this iOS app, because the issue is this. All right, I have Windows machines, so the thing is on how to actually do a iOS app. It has to be done in a Mac environment, which is
right.
fine. I understand that. So I knew that was going to be the case, you know. But then yet and still, lately there's been some programs that have been and some apps that work for both. So I thought, okay, maybe now since it's kind of getting into a little bit into the future, and so now Windows and Apple are kind of working a little bit more together. So I thought maybe there was an app where I wouldn't have to go to a Mac, and I could actually develop it in Windows using a specific app to basically develop this iOS app. Nope, nope, not at all, not at all. So there's three ways I could do it. I could either install a program that brings in a virtual environment of an app. I mean, a virtual environment of a Mac, which essentially would make one of my Windows computers into a Mac environment, so that I'll be able to make this iOS app.
Right.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's just
It works virtually.
it works
I'm in the
virtually,
virtual
yeah,
world.
but you know, sometimes with developing software and stuff like that, it may not save right. So that was my concern. So then the other way I could do it would be I could either try to actually build a machine that could actually handle um, a specific version of Mac. Problem is that Mac operating systems only operate with specific type of motherboards, specific type of chipsets,
Hmm.
specific type of just RAM, everything like that. And if you do not get the one piece right, then it will not work at all. So there's a site that breaks down what all components that you would need in order to run what version of Mac that you want to run. Lately, Mac has kind of gotten hip to that, and they've since then kind of tightened down their security features like that.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't basically make a custom made Mac. So my last option is to actually buy a Mac. So that way I could be able to develop it, save it, upload it, the whole nine.
Right.
So that is where I'm at. I'm having to actually purchase a Mac to write this iOS app. So again, Thomas, I don't want to hear shh from you ever again. I wants to hear nothing, because I'm actually getting a Mac so I can write this app. Because why? That's the type of person I am. I'm considerate to everyone, even the Mac users. So there's
If
that.
if you want to save a couple of bucks, you can go to with you can go to backmarket.com, and they actually have used Macs, like Macs that people bought and maybe have like a scratch or something like that on it. But I mean, you could save a couple $100, on a Mac if you wanted to, if you didn't want to go buy a brand new one.
No, I'm not buying a brand.
They have, they have some with the M2 chipset. Don't get
Okay.
me wrong, they're very fast, but if you want to save some money. Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not buying brand new Mac. I'm telling you
Okay. All right.
that. I have no problem with getting something that has a scratch or two on it. I have no problem with that.
So,
But yeah, it's something, man. It's a Mac, man. It's again a little bit difficult to work with. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, visually they're nice. They do. They have their set of apps that that work great. They have a few video editing apps that I do like.
right.
So
I mean,
but
they're good for editing audio. They're good for making music. They're good for editing video as well. Like creator content, stuff like that. Uh,
right,
they're good for that. That's why the M2, the M1 chips and the M2 chips are good in that respect because they are the M actually stands for Motorola. They're using the Motorola chipset. Um, but they've actually gone to some Intel processors on some of the older ones. Um, the the M what was it? The M2? Yeah, I think the M1 or the M2 was supposed to be better, or actually supposed to be faster than the Core i7. I think that's what I read. Um, for the hardware. Because
right,
the Unicode or the machine code written for the Mac is based in the Motorola, in like the Motorola universe. That's why those apps run a lot faster on those types of machines. And of course, you don't have the limitations of putting on um, an upgraded operating system or something like that, where you would with the Intel chip. So, I mean, like a
right.
lot of people are, well, I don't know. Mac is it's kind of like a flavor. I think it's a flavor of Unix or a flavor of Red Hat Linux, where you have to mount and unmount the volume. You basically have to,
Mm-hmm.
like to
Yeah,
mount the volume, but you have to
yeah.
erase the disk, format the disk, and then mount the volume. So there's unmounting, there's mounting, there's all this other stuff, and I'm like that was such a pain in the butt trying to get. I mean, you can erase it really well, but when you try to
Right.
put it back, it was
It's just a
um
pain.
I mean, it was like giving birth, man. It was like
Right, it's a pain.
it's like
It's a real pain in it.
just it's a real pain in the butt. I had to tell you.
I
I
get it,
said,
man.
I said, there are like so many steps to doing it. I was like, why can't it just be easy like Windows?
Yeah,
Why
why
can't
can't
you
it just be
just,
like a one button push it done?
yeah, just
Yeah,
no.
but no.
It's this it was very confusing with the bootloader because if you don't know really what you're doing, and I really didn't. At that point, I was like, well, what am I doing? Well, and like, okay, so I have a source and I have a target. My source was the USB flash drive that had the
Hmm.
operating system on it,
Right.
and I put that into RAM. The RAM is holding uh, that information to install, and then I'm going to install it to the target. And then it was very confusing. It's like, well, we have to reboot the system. You reboot the system, you hold down, I think it was the option key, and it goes into the bootloader process, or it basically goes into um, a mode. It's kind of like safe mode almost. It's a safe mode where you want to boot to. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I want to boot to the C drive, which was it was like Macintosh HD hard drive. I wanted to boot into the hard drive, so I boot into the hard drive. It brings up the original operating system again, and I'm like, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, so I had to do it all over again, and I'm like, and every time I wanted to put the operating system on, it wouldn't let me do it. It just wouldn't let me put the new operating system on. I have a clean slate, no recovery partition, no main partition. I just wanted to take, Sonoma, or in this case, it was Monterey, and put
Mm-hmm.
Monterey onto the new drive, and it would not let me do it. It came up with the little, with the little circle with the thing through it,
Yeah.
and I
And
was
it was
like, I was like, you sob, I'm blah 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 blah, and you know, I think this
yeah.
open core legacy patcher will help. I think it will help because it'll bridge the gap between the hardware and the software. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
it's not a limitation of the hardware, it's a
It's a
limitation of the software.
right,
So
and it's just a matter of
it's
yeah.
fooling the system, you
Well,
basically,
yeah,
to patch it.
you're tricking the software into saying is that oh the hardware can handle, which the hardware can handle it. I mean
Yeah,
it can, but what the software sees is instead of seeing 32 gigs of RAM, it only
right,
sees 8. It says,
right.
but it's not going to work. Well, it will work. Well, it's not going to work. It will work.
Well, the thing with the patcher is when you
But
look at the video, um, when you put the new like so, if you had downloaded um the new operating system to so all right so you all right so you need the operating systems on the flash drive.
mm-hmm.
You need another flash drive or an external hard disk, which I have. I have a 500 gig external hard disk that I can plug in. That was formatted to hold the operating system. You want to expand that operating system into that drive because once you go to reboot it, you want that to install from the flash drive or you want it to install from the flash drive, but you also want it to install from the external hard drive to the internal hard drive of the computer because you've just expanded all those files. It's like a zip file, so it's unzipped now. And then what the patcher does is the patcher basically bridges the gap between the processor that you have that's really fast and the Apple restrictions. It gets rid of those restrictions. Well, it doesn't really get rid of them. It goes around it. It just goes
Yeah.
around it so it's an easier transition. Once that goes on, you have to reboot again. When you reboot again, you have to choose to
I
enable the
guess.
patcher to go to the root kernel um, of the drive that you just built, and so that every time you boot up, you will
Mm-hmm.
boot
It knows to
directly
go
into the
to
internal
yeah.
hard drive with the patcher as your intermediary to get into the operating system and use it. And I'm like, what? It's so hard. I mean, the thing reads like friggin' stereo instructions, dude. I was like, what the hell? It's like put A into B, take B, put it into C, take 9, put 4. Yeah,
It's just
I'm like, I can wire up the Nostromo from Alien like a lot easier than trying to read it. Oh my God, it is horrible. But yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, that is an absolute pain. It is an
I did want
absolute
to.
pain, and
Yeah, it's a pain.
man. So,
Um, I
Mac,
did want to read one of
Apple,
our.
Apple,
I'm
get your
sorry.
stuff straight. Get your stuff
Yeah,
straight, Apple.
yeah.
But yeah, I know you sent me something earlier today of something that you wanted to read out. So
Oh yeah, it's
go ahead, man.
it's
Floors.
from one of our sponsors. It's from CNS Computers. Um, uh, is your computer slowing down? Worried about viruses or ransomware? Look no further. CNScomputers.com has you covered. Our expert IT support team is here to keep your system running smoothly. From virus removal to resolving slow performance issues, we handle it all. Need regular upkeep? Ask about our monthly maintenance plans, perfect for updating, cleaning, and defragmentation. And don't forget to back up your data. We offer reliable backup services to keep your important files safe. We also offer an electronics recycling service. If it's electrical or electronic, we can recycle it. From small businesses to large corporations, your obsolete and unwanted electronics are disposed of in a safe and efficient manner. Um, Visit computers.com today and let us take care of your tech so you can focus on what matters most. Serving the Stroudsburg and East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania areas. Our number is area code 570-871-3077. That's 570-871-3077. All right. So I read our sponsor for today. That was cns-computers.com. Really good place. I think the owner's name is Kane. He's a friend of mine. I worked with him at Sanofi, and you know, actually he was my boss for a time. So now he has
Awesome,
his own place. So
awesome, awesome. Shout out to Kay. Shout out
shout out to CNS
to CNS
Computers
Computers. Yo, so
in the
if
East
you
Stroudsburg and Stroudsburg area.
so if you're near there, go ahead, take your systems there, get it cleaned up, make sure that they'll get you running right.
Yep.
So yeah, all the services that they offer that George read out is all everything that you need to get you squared away, get your system running right, and make sure you stay clean and protected all while you're on either Beyonce's or Taylor Swift's internet, whichever one you're on, whatever time of day that you're on it.
Except for Mac. No, we don't do Mac. No. No. We'll do Mac.
They even do
We'll do
Mac.
Mac.
Even do Mac.
We'll grimace a lot, but we'll do Mac. We'll curse a lot, but we will
So
do the Mac for you.
we'll definitely cuss a lot. So there will be quite a few
Be a lot of
expletives,
cussing.
a lot of few expletives that will fly. So just prepare yourselves. Not gonna say I'm sorry. Not gonna say anything else. Just prepare yourselves. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's all
Oh.
right. That's all right. So, oh,
It is
so
6:42. Wow, how time flew. Wow.
yeah, man. And so I was looking through, and I don't know if you saw it or not. I saw this a couple days ago, and this kind of goes back to when we talked about AI and deep fakes and how we could basically play a part in this election, and it happened. It happened.
What happened?
There was I was going through listening to some YouTube some people reading out Reddit stories on YouTube because I love the drama. I just don't like being a part of the drama, but I love hearing about the drama. So I'm doing that, and popped up some ads, some ads of Um, of course, Kamala Harris AI and Trump AI. Just
Is that the one where they're wait where they were kissing? Is that the
oh, that was one of them. Yeah,
that was one of them. I
yeah,
saw
there
that
was
one. I was like, oh my god.
but yeah, there's now been a couple political ads that's come out of people that have voice cloned, Trump and a voice clone Kamala Harris,
Uh,
and have now. I mean, immediately it's been all kind of debunked because it's quite clear that it's not them. It's clear it's not them. So. But again, like I said, if you weren't looking at it and you just listened, you could not tell the difference.
oh.
But you look at the ad, you see the ad, and then you hear the voice, and you hear the voice, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, this is not right. And so you'll know it if you see it. But if you're just
Okay.
if you're not listening, if you're not paying attention at all or anything like that, you can't tell the difference. So again, like I said, man,
Did you
we're gonna see more of it.
um I was looking at a trailer for Tron Ares. It's supposed to be the
I
third
saw,
installment of Tron.
I saw that.
It
I
has
saw that.
Jared Leto in it, and I'm like, Jared Leto.
I was
It's
like,
like I wouldn't have.
I don't know about that.
He's a crazy. Every time I see Jared Leto, I always think of Morbius. Did you ever watch Morbius?
Unfortunately,
From
I
that
mean,
face tells it
unfortunately,
all. That face was like, oh my god, that was yeah.
like
I
Morbius
was
is
waiting
one
for
of those.
Morbius just to tear my throat out so I could just die there in front of the TV watching this stupid movie. But and I was
Right.
like, Jared Leto is like, he's going to be in Tron. I mean, I know Jeff Bridges is,
Well, I mean, Jeff
because they
Bridges has been Tron since day one. Tron, so
right,
yeah.
yeah, and I was like, Jared Leto, really? Like like they
Mm.
couldn't get like they couldn't get the last guy, the guy with Olivia Wilde. I don't know if Olivia Wilde was going to be in it.
I
I
don't know.
think
I
she
don't
might have a
know.
cameo in it, but
I'm
apparently
wondering.
the story is that the programs from Tron Legacy, where they were, like where Clue
Mm-hmm.
had called,
Flynn's son.
Sam, yeah,
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 Sam.
Flint's son Sam,
Mm-hmm.
and he opened up the portal, and then the portal closed. Apparently, they open up the portal again, and the programs come into our world. So there's a
Yeah.
program that comes into our world, and I'm like, I don't know what part Jared Leto plays in it, but you know,
I
don't
don't know,
know if
but
it's gonna be a I don't know. Um, I'm looking forward to it. But
I'm.
it's Jared
But it's
Leto.
Jared Little, so I mean, it's. I don't know how much you could, you know.
The Joker from Suicide Squad.
I mean,
Well,
it, you kind of have you gotta have some. You can't go in with high expectations. I'm just saying. But at the end
it's
of
kind of like
at the end of Legacy, we did see that one of the programs did get out.
well,
You
she's an
know,
ISO, that's why.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
so she basically yeah.
so it. Only thing I'm kind of wondering is if Bruce Boxleitner is coming back to
Oh yeah,
reprise Tron.
as Tron, he might
I don't
because
know.
now he was saved by
Yeah.
because when Clue was defeated, he might come back as Tron, so that's cool. Or they
Uh,
may use an AI version of him, for like certain action scenes because Bruce
yeah.
Boxleitner is a little bit old, and
Yeah. They
I
could.
mean so is Jeff Bridges. So
Well, yeah. I mean, they did that with Jeff Bridges with CGI, but the CGI was at the time it is meh. So I mean, it's gotten a lot better with Disney CGI,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and all the graphics and everything they use. So um
You're
I'll
cautiously optimistic,
exactly. That's perfect term. Perfect term. Yes.
and you have plausible deniability. Yes. Okay. There you
Right.
go. So we we're cautiously
So
optimistic, folks, about
cautiously
that. So
optimistic.
yes,
You know, and
it could be good. It could be like a big electronic turd. We don't know.
said it
It's
could.
kind of
It
it's kind of like working with Mac. It's
said
you
it
know.
could. It's a hit or miss. You know, if it goes like how it's supposed to from the very first step, flawless. Fit. You know, no problems. Everything goes great. All is right with the world. Da da da. Ah, and you're good. But
Or it could explode on the launch pad.
exactly. Or you could just
We still haven't gotten those
say
astronauts yet, have we?
say push that button and boom. Or you could push that button and everything goes great. You never know. So
So,
but
oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I saw that and I also saw a trailer, well, a couple trailers for one for Star Wars Outlaw.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
new game,
Outlaws. Yeah.
uh, open world game. For anybody
Yep.
that's listening, it's a big open world Star Wars game, and where you have your character and you do your missions, and you know whether or not you want to be a rogue or you want to be a smuggler or whatever you want to be. I don't know if you have options for Jedi or not. I didn't see that, but still, that's my new game. I'm gonna that I think that it's gonna replace Skyrim for a while. I don't know if
Uh
it's gonna
oh.
replace it
Uh oh.
permanently,
Don't
but it's gonna
don't
be for a
don't
while.
say that.
It's gonna be no, that always happens whenever I get a new game. It takes my attention for a while, and then
Yeah.
then I either fall back to different games or I just stick with it. Skyrim, it was one I just stuck with it. I played different games along the way with it. Actually, the other day I played Mortal Kombat 11, and so yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
um,
I might get the chance to actually buy Skyrim from Steam. It's like $18 now. I think by the time Black Friday
mhm.
actually comes around, it could be at the $6 mark. So if it's at the $6 mark, I'll get it. It
Yeah,
looks
you
pretty cool.
should definitely jump on it.
Okay.
Should definitely jump on it. Yeah. Like I said, it's just a fun game, man. it's 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 glitchy AF. Not gonna lie, it has a lot of glitches, but even with all those glitches and everything, it's just fun. So
Yeah,
there's
we
a
have to try. We have to try to get into a game together. The what was it? Starship Troopers Terran Command. Was it Terran Command? No, no. Sorry, not Terran Command.
oh yeah, that
Starship Troopers Annihilation. Annihilation.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
where
looks
you can play.
fun.
Like, you play different ones.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
And
Apparently that's. I think that's where you get the Marauder suit if you play the. There's a there's like a PV. There's a PvP mode, or like a multiplayer mode, and in multiplayer
okay.
mode you can get the Marauder suit. It looks like a huge mech. It's got machine guns, like for hands and stuff like that.
Oh man, that's
it,
awesome.
it's got it's got like 40 millimeter Vulcan cannons on each arm. um it was in there was a Starship Troopers movie with Casper Van Dien called The Traitor of Mars, and there was one called Marauders. Um, Traitor of Mars came out after Marauders, but Marauders was they had the new Marauder mech suits that they were using against the bugs. So they were kind of like like
Nice.
like these mech suits. They kind of look like Tony Stark's suit, but it's got you know had missiles and bombs and you know machine
You
guns
know,
and stuff.
you wanna know fun fact that I found out about Starship Troopers, okay, is the movie and the book completely different. Of course, naturally they're always, but in the book of Starship Troopers, the suits um, that they were issued out to go, fight the bugs on the bug world,
Hmm.
were actually supposed to look more kind of like that, like an Iron Man type of suit.
Oh,
Yeah, instead of just a helmet and a vest.
right.
you know. So it's like
Well, they
because and like I said, when I when I read the book of Starship Troopers and I saw that, I was heated. I was so mad because I felt like that I got cheated because here's the book is great. If it
hmm
did anything kind of close to what was in this book or anything had um, the suits or just kind of way that the story went or anything like that, it would have been not just it would have been a colossal classic, a gigantic classic instead of just a cult classic.
right.
It would have been one of those just greatest of all time sci-fi stories.
Right.
It's really good,
Yeah,
but
I don't think they could have done the mech suits because they filmed the filming location was Spain in the deserts of
so
Spain.
yeah, it was kind of
So, and I was like, you're gonna put somebody in a mech suit in Spain and they're just gonna roast in that thing. And I was like, no. So
right. So yeah,
it couldn't
and
have done it
again,
that way.
yeah, and again, and so it's like it's one of those where if there was some way to kind of take what was in the book and make that live action, it would have made millions. Well, probably by now it would have been billions. But
Hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
you would have made
we,
your money
we
back on that.
yeah
Yeah.
we got cheated. We got cheated. That's all I got to say. We got cheated.
Yeah,
So
we were.
so we are coming up to near the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and reset everything. So we are we are the help desk. I am the angry IT nerd. I am Gilbert. I am here with my other host, Techno George, and we are here just kind of talking about tech, talking about apps, talking about Mac, talking about
We love Mac.
how much we love Mac. Macs are
The
great.
trials and tribulations
They're
of
great,
owning a Mac.
right? And so, Apple, great job,
Great job. Good.
great job, Apple. So yeah, we're here
Tim
also
Apple, good guy.
also Tim Apple, great guy. Anybody that if you eat apples, you're a great person.
An apple a day
Apple a
makes the
day,
tech go away. I mean,
exactly.
oh, sorry. Makes Gilbert go away. An apple a day.
An apple a day brings Jeff to George's house.
Oh God.
And so, currently now, we have a GCPR Android app that is in development. If you're interested in becoming a beta tester, you can email us at gcprhelpdesk@gmail.com with the subject beta tester. If you're watching on either YouTube or Trovo or Twitch or wherever you're seeing this, and you see the little words up in under our beautiful faces, you sign up to be a beta tester for the GCPR Android app. Just email us at gcprhelpdesk@gmail.com with the subject of beta tester. You get added on, you'll get your download link sent to you, and let us know. Let us know how you like it. If you hate it, but you better love it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I worked hard on it, dang it. I work hard on it. Everybody should love it. I've worked hard on it.
I mean, we should give them something for it, like, a shout out on our show, and, just like a shout out that, like you like it, or you like, so, we'll give a shout out of your name on our show.
You like it, send some feedback, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. And
please, no colorful language in your chat, but
right? That'd be nice.
This thing is like Windows 98 ME. It's major excrement. Okay, no problem. Whatever you think.
So I mean, I hope it's not that bad. I mean,
well, what did you put in our GCPR chat? You said, I'm developing the Android app. And everybody can tell me how much they hate it or something like that. Right. I forget what it was you put in there. I thought that was pretty funny.
So yeah, you get the app and send me a message and tell me how much you hate it. But so far with all the testing, everything like that, it's going flawless. Yeah, all the shows coming clear. We need some more music for the DJ though. We need some more music to kind of fill in the gaps, so that even you're listening throughout the day, and nobody's on, whether it be Thomas or Jeff or myself or George or T. Nathan or any one of us, Pastor Best or any one of us.
I'm trying to convert the Rules of Nerdquisition show, the one with Steve Warnick, to MP3 to put that onto the Oda DJ. So I'm just trying to get those shows up now. It's a real pain in the butt to do that. Yeah. I have to take the show, put it into Audacity, and basically convert the show to MP3. It only use MP3.
With the Rules of Nerdquisition, I'm gonna talk with it about Gretchen, and I'm gonna set aside a time to stream on GCPR, probably on Sundays.
Okay.
Well, no. Yeah, it would be Sunday. It'd probably be after Pastor Best. So.
Okay.
And May. Well, with the older episodes that we have, I'm gonna start with just playing those, and then once we get to where we're at now,
mm-hmm.
then we could just start going live with them. But definitely want to start. I'm gonna break the norm on this one. Instead of starting with the first episode of Rules of Nerdquisition, going to start with the Steve Warnick episode, because it's just too good, and Helios is just too good just to not give it a shout out, so
yeah. Yep, Helios is awesome. I looked at the first draft of that and I was like, man, why isn't this thing on Amazon Prime? How come this is not on Disney? Why can't I see this?
Right?
And
I
I
mean,
was,
it should be on like HBO Max or Amazon
yeah, it
Prime
should, yeah.
or you
Yeah, I
know.
mean they're looking for like they're looking for new content. Well, not well the way Steve basically explained it is if it's an existing property, they may make it into a series, say like Dune. So now they
Yeah.
have the Dune thing on Max, the Dune series, which is actually supposed to be like 400 it's like 400 years or 1,000 years before Paul Atreides, before the Atreides thing,
Okay.
like before Dune, and it's about the Bene Gesserit. It's about the Bene Gesserit, sisterhood. So that's what the whole series is about. So you're going to
Okay.
see technology in there, how everything developed, and how those characters became who they are. That's something on Max, but that's an existing property. It's nothing new, nothing like a really new
Mm,
series or anything like that coming out. Um, I
yeah.
know there's a new well actually there's a new season for Fallout coming on Prime. If you're if you're into that, Fallout, the game,
Hmm.
Fallout with the T-60 battle armor and all this other stuff, and uh
Yeah.
the new season is coming. I think it's coming in when's it coming? 2025, I think it is. January, February. No, it's supposed to be like April. I think April it's coming.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
2025. It's coming soon because they had already been approved for season two. Um, 2 or 3 days before the premiere of the first season came out. They've already been approved for season two, and they started working on it, so they should be done by 2025.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because I
um,
think because Steve had said something about that on our show too. I think he said something basically to the effect of um, new something that are it's like brand new properties have a harder time kind of
right,
getting established and getting off the ground because there's so many just kind of established properties that are
right, yeah, the fan base is there.
yeah, the fan base
Like,
is there, yeah, and
yeah,
so they have a tendency of going to more wars with what has an established fan base
right,
and kind of making that and then kind of because they have that fan base that's there.
yeah. And
And so
like
yeah,
most people read the books, or like yeah,
yeah,
I guess if there were books,
and they read the
before
books.
the
I mean,
series,
yeah, even still like that, they still have an audience there.
right,
Whether it's even the people that read the books and they watch the movie or show or whatever, and they complain about it, blah 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 blah, but they don't care. You've seen it, so
yeah,
that's all they care about. They'll could care less whether or not if you like it or not. You've seen it.
yeah. I mean, like a lot of series, like because when I was taking care of my dad, I didn't get to see Game of Thrones, so I finally watched all of Game of Thrones. Now I'm on like first season of House of the Dragon, and I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to watch that a little bit at a time. But the Game of Thrones, I mean, man, I was doing like marathons. I was watching 4 or 5 episodes a day. And I was like, this is really great. It's really good. You get it, I'm like,
Yeah,
well, I want to see what's going on with the walkers and like and all this other stuff and, the dead and everything. I was, oh my God, this is fantastic. And then they ended it. And then, and it was exactly the one that you said. I was like, look, I was like, what the hell did they do? They just took it and threw it
they
into
just
a toilet bowl. They
they just
hit the little
completely.
lever, and wherever it went, wherever it swirled and you went down the drain, it was done. And
I told
I
you.
was like, what? What? Really? Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's the frustration we all felt when we saw that final episode. It was like, what the hell is this?
Like, wait, Jon Snow goes back to the City Watch, but then he goes with he goes with the wildlings, and I'm like, what? He was a what? It was, dude. I was like so disappointed. It was kind of like watching. There was an episode of Enterprise like that with Trip where he, I think he dies in the last episode, of Enterprise. It's, I think it was like an hour or like a 2 hour, thing, and, in the episode, he leads these aliens to this plasma conduit where he basically kills himself, but he kills the aliens as well who invade the ship.
Okay.
And I said to Steve, I said, why did he do that? I was like, he was a really good character. Why did he? Goes, well, he was on Stargate, as Michael, the he's on Stargate, Atlantis.
Okay.
And I was like, so he went from one series to the other, had to kill himself off from Enterprise. And I was like, it just seemed like it was like rushed. Like the episode was rushed. Like, you killed this person off and then he was gone. And then all of a sudden I said, well, wait a minute. He's on Stargate. And then Farscape ended with Aaron's son and and John Crichton, and then they were on Stargate, and I'm like, I said, is this the? So my friend goes,
it was funny. Stargate did a parody episode of Farscape.
So my friend goes, what is this? Is this a show for all the refugees from other programs, from like other shows? And I was like, apparently. And he goes, well, I really like Stargate. He goes, so it's Stargate, Farscape, Iron Eagle because because Louis Gossett Jr. was on Stargate, I guess, to give it some credibility. And I was like, what? I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what are you people like smoking something? What's going on? Aaron's son, and I was like, oh my god, this just sucks. And then they had the Ori, and I was like, why? Well, like, why? Bring back the System Lord, bring back the Goa'uld. Come on. And it was and then when Stargate Universe came out, I was like, okay, at least we have something that was like redeemable. It was a redeemable series,
which admittedly, I mean, at first, since with watching, I was so used to Stargate, mixing it with the kind of slight bit of humor and still having the tech going on and everything like that. And then with Stargate Universe, like absolutely like almost no humor at all. So it was like a shock for me. I was like, oh man. And it took me a while to kind of appreciate it. And so now I appreciate it, and I do like it. But it took me a while to warm up to
it. My friend was funny. Is this the
Mac.
show for all the
like a Macintosh? It took me a while to warm up to it.
Yeah. After trying to put that damn operating system on for 11 hours. Yeah, the Mac got really hot. So am like, I literally had to warm up to it. And then it didn't work and I shut it down. So,
Oh man, but yeah, you gotta you gotta let us know if uh if that patch works, man. When you try it out,
yeah,
yeah.
that'll be fun. Actually, you're going to be on that call because I'm going to call you. I'm going to bother you.
All right,
I,
I'll be on
I
that
don't
call.
want to, I don't want to be the only one who has to go through this. I want you to go through it too. And you'd be like, George, don't ever call me again.
No,
Don't
no, because
ever call me again. Like,
no, I would
and now
say
you're not going to be on Rules of Nerd Acquisition. Don't ever call me again. Okay.
no, no. I'll say, oh, all right. I would, but I got a superplex party to do. But I never told you what day. Yeah, I have rules and organization to do on that day too. So
It's like every day I have
and
something to do.
and also I got villains view to do that day. And also I got
I got a full docket, man. I just can't. I can't do it. All right, no
But I
problem.
never told you what day. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like that every day, man.
it's like up in the air, man. I don't
Like,
know.
uh, but you don't do those shows once a week. Well, I record them every day. Nah, but
Jeff
that's
needs
fine.
your help. What?
But
You'd be,
hello, Joe.
be like
My phone's going dead. My phone's dead. I
like
can't-
Chevy Chase, in Spies Like Us when he's talking on the microphone. He goes, like that.
So yeah, no, but, oh, and I just put it on airplane mode and just say call failed. Yeah, I was in. Whew. Glad I got out of that.
Whew, got out of that one. Dodge that bullet.
No, I don't mind. I'll show up there because
Because you're a glutton
Yeah.
for punishment, just like me.
well, yeah, man.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
you can learn something new that you don't, that you didn't know before, like dealing with Jeff. Now, trying to reconfigure a Mac.
Right. So. It
I
may
mean,
help- it may-
it's
it-
always, it's always good to have two opinions and, two people telling Jeff not to throw the computer. It's always good to have
Right?
that.
so-
Like, Jeff,
so
don't do it.
Don't
Jeff,
throw it.
Jeff,
Don't kick it either.
don't.
No, don't. Matter of fact, Jeff, just take 5 steps away from it. Okay, take 5 more steps. Okay, take 5 more
Go
steps.
stand in the corner. Go stand in the corner for 10 minutes.
Matter of fact,
Put your
Yep.
face to the corner.
Go into
You're
the
in
next room.
timeout.
go to the next room. Take your phone with you,
Give him a
and we'll
timeout.
call you. We'll call you back into the room. But yeah, that. But I'm thinking that patch it definitely should work because, it'll, it should bypass well not only just all those I wouldn't say bypass it. It would just kind of
No.
it'll let you know that
I would say bypass. I would say
well,
bypass.
yeah.
It would
But
get
it would
around all
definitely-
those
it would-
Apple, security things. Yeah.
Yeah, it would make those conditions that are set to be, false, that'll only work for, this specific, version of was it High Sierra? Is that the one he
Right.
has, a High Sierra?
Yeah.
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 This,
yeah. I
this
see her.
particular version of High Sierra that has been configured for this this particular system. Instead it will meet those conditions of, oh yeah, this this version of OS X, is definitely it's compatible with it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Well,
it should. I don't see why it shouldn't. I mean, unless
yeah, the uh, the app the application is called Open Core Legacy Patcher. So
okay.
Open Core means I would assume you could put it onto any core processor.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy put it onto a Core 2 Duo, which is the slowest processor on the planet. Well,
So,
by today's standards,
but I mean,
with 8 gigs of RAM and a 256
yeah.
gig SSD drive.
So yeah, it
Right.
should go. It should work.
So yeah, so that's the open core part of it. The legacy would be an older Mac is what I would assume like the legacy is, and then the patcher of course is it's just a software patch, but it is
it bridges
it bridges the gap between between the old and the new.
Yeah.
So the old architecture and the new. So
Apple, you need to get yours together. That's all I gotta say. Apple, you need to get your together. They're a multi-million billion dollar company. Get your stuff together, Apple. Stop making everything so daggone hard.
I know it is. It's just hard. But I mean, I mean, I could see why they do that because they want you to get to the next computer and they want you,
I mean, they want you to, keep spending keep spending money with Apple. They want to, have you to a point force you to buy a new, MacBook, or to buy a new iMac, or to buy a new, iPad or iPhone or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, gone are the days when we had a desktop that looked like furniture. Like I used to have, I think I had a 386. Was it 60? I think it's like a 66 gigahertz machine, and the tower was huge. It was, I mean, from the floor to this desk, it was about 3 feet tall, and it had all these bays for expansion and all this other stuff. I'm like, that's not like it is today. Today, it's like disposable. It's like, it's like you get a new Mac and you're like, well, wait a minute. I have 4 other Macs in my house and I can't use them. It's like, why couldn't I just upgrade the damn, why couldn't I just upgrade the operating system?
Yeah.
I have a Core i5. I may have a Core i7. I now have a Core i9. And then I have an M1 chip, an M2 chip. Now they have I think they have M3. They're up to M3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is like the fastest thing on the planet. I think you can create like a neutron star or like a black hole if you turn this thing on. But it's like this ungodly amount of RAM, ungodly amount of hard drive space, like 4 terabytes with 120. Well, there's one that's 128 gigs of RAM or 256 gigs of RAM. Pretty soon it's going to get to like 1 terabyte of like RAM.
Oh, yeah.
You can hold everything in RAM. Like you can hold everything in RAM. You never have to turn the computer off. It's going to be like that.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I have a 1 terabyte hard drive. Why? You got dude? You got 1 terabyte of RAM. Just keep it all in RAM. Just just keep it on.
Everything in RAM.
Yeah. Just don't turn your computer off.
Yeah, but I mean, And
Was
I and again, Apple, get your stuff together, man. Just get your stuff together, Apple. Jeez. And the thing is that I was looking through um I was looking through Amazon. I was looking through oh, what's the other one? Uh, what is
Newegg?
it? Newegg. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate. It. Yep. I was looking through those because um, this system that I'm on, I gotta upgrade all of my systems, but one in particular, I gotta upgrade that one so that that way it's a little bit more. I would say reliable. I would say faster.
Right.
Um, when it comes to know just in general. Like once I get everything logged in and gone live and streaming everything like that, it's fine, no problem, and
Hmm.
runs fine, no problem. But sometimes getting up to that point is that I have to do like almost like an hour beforehand. Make sure that do a virus scan, do a clean out, do this, do
Right.
that, just to make sure that into getting it to where it's going to run without any kind of hiccups or any kind of flaws or anything like that.
Right.
And I've seen that they are now to the size of like a let's see, to maybe about the size of a Bluetooth speaker. And I've seen some that are just kind of like with Mac, um, it's all integrated into the screen, and so all you see
Oh
is
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just one big monitor and a keyboard and a mouse,
Right.
and so they have the ones like those and like the little, and again the ones that are look like the size of a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah. I've seen. They make a. Um. What was it? They make a. It's a P4. P4. I forget what. No. It's a Core i7 processor with 8 gigs of RAM. It's a company called B-Link. It's BEE Link.
Mm,
The computer is the size. It's like the size of like a small box, and that's your computer. It's got HDMI. It's got
yeah,
uh,
I've seen those.
it has gigabit Ethernet on it. I was like, wow. And the board is small enough to be like like the Raspberry Pi. It looks like the Raspberry Pi type board. It's got everything on it. I'm like, and it's got wireless, too on it. And I was
Yeah,
like, wow, it's really
and I've
it's really nice.
yeah, I've seen those as well. Yeah, and like those are about the size of um
Like and if you were to cut a Kleenex box,
yeah,
like if you were
yeah,
like cut a Kleenex box down, well, like down the middle, and then just keep cutting it. It's about that. It's about that size. It's like
yeah. And I saw that, I was like, this how small they are now? Wow.
the
and
one
and it
the
was
one
like,
thing about B-Link is the processor is fast enough to run a game,
mhm,
but the graphics are not. The graphics are HDMI. They are
right,
10, I think they're 1080p, but they're using
okay,
the Intel processor chipset for the 1080p. If you want to run a game, they make they actually have USB 3 connectors on them, the blue ones, the blue
right,
USB port. You have to use a USB to PCI 3 third generation daughter card, and then you can put your um with it you you could put your game card into that slot. So the
Yeah.
game card doesn't go into the computer because the computer's too small. You can have a full function data, like a full function video card, like a gaming card, in this special slot which goes into USB, and then you're basically, you know, like you could run, you can run the pro. I mean, you can run any program you want through it,
Right.
and I I don't think there is a limitation in speed. It just might be through the USB port, but you can run a full card if you want to. And the full card would have the two fans like you would put into an actual, put into like an actual desktop computer. And then, but
Okay.
the the only limitation I could see is the power. And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. The card sits in a PCI. It's in a PCI dash E slot,
Right.
but it needs anywhere from 24 to 48 volts of power. So you're going to have to get an an external power supply to hook into there. And I'm like, if you're going to do all this, why don't you just buy yourself a tower and
Yeah.
just put the stupid card in? But yeah, some people just want to do it that way. I mean, I think the open air, concept is good for the card because it's
Right.
not in.
Because it's not so cramped up and
Right, it's not so
not
cramped
so,
up with all the dust and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. So you just put the open air concept.
and then
But
not only just that because of just all the heat that it would generate, and so yeah, it would.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't know how how long it would say just up and running before it would just overheat.
right.
And I'm pretty sure they found a way to get past that. Found a way to keep it cool. Within such a confined space. But there's always a chance of something that's going to go wrong or something that could happen, and it ends up just overheating.
Don't buy the liquid cooled system.
No, don't buy the liquid cooling system at all. But I see those little small, the very tiny, little small tissue box computers, basically. And
Yeah,
and I'm seeing those. I don't see those as like gaming computers. You could play a game on them, but I've never seen those as like a gaming computer. I've always seen those
right.
as just kind of like an everyday work solution type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A smaller computer that you can bring with.
You literally could just put it in your pocket and bring with you.
Yeah,
That's
like
just,
like if you're going to travel or you're going to do work from a different place, like if you go on vacation and then you still have to do work and you have to check into the office, you
Yeah.
could bring a
Oh, yeah,
laptop with you. You could do your phone, or you could bring one of these little computers.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely
You know,
perfect. Yeah, if you want to do that, yeah.
if you're going to do basic stuff. Did you see the I think I had told I told people on this show about the was it the 13th generation Intel processors with the Unicode like the Unicode fault where the power like the power distribution of the chip was blowing the chip out, so all those people who bought those computers and ran them for business or whatever, they lost all their data. I think I told you that one. Did you
Yeah.
see the prices on Newegg for those 13th generation processors? Those things dropped to like it was almost like the $99 computer, dude. These are like $2,500 systems, and they just dropped to $500. I was like, oh my god! And they had 13th generation Core i7 processors.
Mm-hmm.
Went over to Newegg, and I was looking at this one computer, and I was like, and it was like price slash from 20. It was a gaming laptop. Price slash from $2,700. It was like $400. I was like, oh my God, I could have gotten, and
Right.
yeah, it was I think it was an MSI. Yeah, I think it was an MSI. It was one of their
Okay.
MSI computers had the 13th generation Core i7 processor. I was like, wow.
Man,
Yeah.
that's one of those where you just have to jump on that. Like
Yeah.
even though you
I
know
mean,
it's going to be a limited thing, but it's like I can't pass that up, man.
yeah. They did that with the Ryzen. Actually, they have the Ryzen 9 processor. Uh, Laptops. Ryzen 7, I believe, is like $650 now, which is actually a pretty good price for a gaming laptop. The Ryzen 7 processor, I put one of those in, building a game system for somebody of, I think a few years ago, and this kid was trying to do it himself, and he's like, I don't understand it, blah 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 blah, and I was okay. Give me all the parts, and you know I'll figure it out. It was a Ryzen 7 processor in a ZIF socket. Now, if you don't know what the ZIF socket is, it stands for zero insertion force. It's basically you drop the like you would actually drop the processor into the slot, and then you have this little lever. The lever basically um, pushes the CPU forward and clamps onto the gold pins. Well, this kid broke one of the power pins off of the thing. He tried to do it himself, but he did it because he didn't lift up the little lever to put in the thing. He tried to jam it in, and he broke a few of the pins on the CPU. So I'm looking
Hmm.
at the CPU, and I'm like, "There's no." I was like, "What the hell happened to the pins?" And I lifted up the lever to the ZIF socket, and I see that they all popped out. I was like, "What the hell did he do?" I was like, he tried to jam that thing in. So then he says to me, he goes, "Can I just glue them back on with crazy glue?" Yeah, go ahead, glue them back on with crazy glue. See
So
what happens then.
to do that,
So
tell me how it works out.
and I glue it back on with crazy glue. He goes, "Can you solder them?" I was like, "Yeah, if I had that $550,000 machine, that you can actually, create the chip with and,
Hmm.
stitch it back together, I could possibly do it, but no." He's
Right.
like, "You need to get a different processor." So I had to fish out the little pins out of the ZIF socket. Then we found out that the motherboard was bad that he got because he took it out of the anti-static packaging. Now, when you get a motherboard, you get it in anti-static packaging. He took all of the pieces out of the box, took them all out of the anti-static packaging, and placed them on the rug of his
Oh
room
my god.
so that he could. And I was like, "Why did you
So
do that?" And he
so
goes, "Well, I
it
wanted
would.
to see if I had everything." I was like, "But why did you place it on the rug?" "Well, why not?" I said, "Well, the rug creates I said, the rug creates static electricity. You're walking on the rug, you're creating static electricity. You touched the motherboard, didn't you?" "Yeah." "Were you grounded?" "What does that mean?" I was like, "Oh,
Then you
okay.
weren't
Now I
grounded.
know what I'm dealing with." So the processor was, facockled. Um, the motherboard was zapped. I was like, okay. I was like, this kid's got to get everything. I was like, you have to buy all this stuff again. So he buys the motherboard. I got a new, with it. I think we got a different processor.
Hmm.
He gets the motherboard and he gives it to me, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna fit. No, no, no. It's the same motherboard I got the last time. It was the Ryzen 7 motherboard,
Right.
but it didn't fit the case that he had because it had it had a cutout. It wouldn't go by the thing, like it wouldn't go by the power supply. And I was like, this is not going to work. He goes, "Can you turn it a certain way?" I was like, "Yeah, but then you can't put the
But then
cards
yeah.
in. The cards were, this, like this way turned." And I was like, "No." So he had to bring the motherboard back. That was another month. Another month goes by. This month, 6 months, 7 months go by. I finally get the system up and running, operating system. Everything's SSD drive. Everything is fast. Everything's wonderful. Gets the whole system. What does he do? He sees a Ryzen gaming laptop, and he sells the tower to a friend of his who promptly screwed it all up, buys the laptop, and then and then he's having problems with the laptop. And I'm like, what? I say, what's going on with the laptop? He goes, well, I had this overheating problem. Okay. So I'm looking at the laptop. It's got food particles in it. It's not an overheating problem. It was an overeating problem because you kept eating and dropping crumbs on the damn laptop. And I'm like, what the hell's going on with this kid? It's like, dude, this is a gaming laptop. It's not. I mean, I understand it's a laptop, but you should not put it on your lap.
Right.
When you're eating dinner and he's trying to play games while he's eating. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
he's got.
I couldn't deal with him anymore. I was like, dude, and he was.
Obviously, he's got a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had a job after school and all this other stuff. And I think his mom worked at the post office, and she was about to retire. And then I was like, why can't this kid get a job in California and just leave me alone or something like that? Maybe he could, get a job someplace. And he just kept coming around and coming around. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And at a certain point, I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. Why not? I said, I got a different job. I need to go out and go to job and all sorts of stuff. Which was a lie. And I was like, I just didn't want to have to deal with it all the time. They would have parties at his house, and they would pass the laptop around, and the laptop would break, like the hinges would break, or the screen would break, or the bezel would crack. Can you replace this? And I'm like, yeah, I can replace it. You need to give me the money. I said, you need to buy these parts. Okay, I'll buy the parts. He buys all the parts, put it all together. Next week, oh, the screen is cracked. Okay, replace the screen. I think I replaced the screen 3-4 times on this laptop. And I'm like,
jeez.
Like, what are you doing with this laptop? The thing, well, we had a party, and the one girl took it, and she was drunk, and then she fell, and then
dropped it, of course. It's always
dropped it, or dropped beer on the laptop while the laptop was on. And I was like, oh my God. I just have to get. I said I have to get away from this kid because what he's doing to this computer system, it's just making me cry. Yeah, it's making me cry. Crime. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't take it anymore.
Crime. What he's doing to that computer?
It's like you're supposed to be just playing games on this thing, man. Just.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You bring a laptop to a party and around a bunch of drunk teenagers or something like that?
Yeah. Falling all over it, dropping it,
Oh, come on, man.
I dropped it in the pool. It got all chlorine in it. Can you clean it out? It's like, no, it's dead.
So you know there's been some underage drinking going on. You know that. And just passing that all around and not giving a care about it, and just like, oh, come on.
So the last straw for me was when he took the laptop and he bought this Mazda, this high performance Mazda. I think it was like I forget what type of it wasn't the Miata. Is it Mazda? I forget what the. Sorry, it was a Subaru.
All right.
It was an SRX. I think this XRX, and he was tuning the engine. So he wanted to use his gaming laptop to hook into the engine to tune it as he was driving it there was some, supposed to be some sort of program. So he gets
All
the
right.
program, puts it into the laptop, and he's driving the car like a friggin' maniac, trying to
Not
tune the
trying to
engine
tune
through
it
this
while he's
through
driving
this
it.
app, yeah, that you're supposed to use. Now you're supposed to have two people doing this. He's doing it on his own. I could do it on my own.
Then no, you're supposed you
Crashes the
do
car.
you do something like that. You're supposed to have two people, one to operate the laptop if you're gonna do like
Well, yeah,
that.
one to operate the laptop and record all the stuff. He crashes the car, and the laptop must have went through the windshield, and it was just like
Oh my
obliterated.
god.
So he goes and he gets another laptop. He calls me, he calls me up. This was when I was in Parsippany. He calls me up and he goes, da, 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 and this and that. I was like, I don't care. I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I said, here is another computer shop that, but, but you fixed my lap. It's like, I was like, I'm done. I am absolutely done. Stick a fork in me. I am done. I'm not doing any more computer work for you. I don't care. You could bring me phones. You could bring me. I'm not. I was like, lose my number. Forget who I am. I'm gonna. You could tell anybody I am the worst person in the world. I am done. I am not doing this anymore. I was like, and what you're doing to all these, systems, guess what? I'm not doing it. You get another shop to go in and charge you for, because like I wasn't charging him a lot of money for it. I could have,
Right. You weren't charging
but
him
I was
what you
like,
could
he
have
was
charged.
just a kid,
Right. You weren't
and I
charging him
was
like
like,
what you should have charged him, but you were charging him something, but not what you should have charged him.
right. I was
Yeah.
charging him like $20 an hour when I could have been making $115 an hour or something like, I could have been making like $100 an hour and saying that. It's like going, now a shop is going to charge. So he went to Best Buy to go bring his system, I guess.
Oh. Oh.
And the tech there knew me. I knew the tech
Mm-hmm.
over at Best Buy. And the guy calls me up and he goes, get this kid with this thing. I was like, run for the hills, change your job,
Said
like
just get a new
get
identity.
get a new identity,
Just
go move to another country because this kid, he's got a lot of money to burn, but you know what? He's gonna burn. I said he'll burn right. He goes. This guy's laptop was blah, 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 blah. I was like, dude, just, just,
is not
just. I was
worth
like,
it.
you know what? Charge him full price. Really? Charge him full price, and then tack another $100 on it for all of your pain and your suffering because it's coming. And so and the kid never went back. He never called me again. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Oh,
Well, I guess he figured out that he had to pay full price or something.
yeah.
That he knows how. Okay, this is how much it's going to cost to fix it. And I see George has been giving me a huge discount, and I basically effed that all up.
Yeah. You have that all out when you crashed your car and tried to tune your SRX to. Oh my God.
Who does that? Like, who does something like that? Who in their right mind would drive while doing this? Like, I get, there may be some things that it can't read unless it's actually in motion.
Right.
Maybe. But if you're just doing an engine tune-up, then would it just
No,
just need to be just turned on? Cranked up and let it run, and so you
Right.
can.
Well,
you can-
the SRX software, or the software you're supposed to do with the car was supposed to be for the turbo. So if you were going to actually
Oh, okay. So if you
put
have
the
to,
turbo in,
then you have to be. You
the
have to.
turbo
It
had a
has to be in motion.
tachometer, and the tachometer was a Bluetooth tachometer, which would go to the laptop
Hmm.
and basically record
The whole.
what
The
you
whole.
would
Yeah.
need to make the car a lot faster.
Okay.
But
Right.
you're
So.
supposed to be using two people. One is supposed to be monitoring the laptop, the other
Hmm.
one is just supposed to be driving. So
Right.
he's driving and he's looking at the laptop.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That
On the
makes sense.
on the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Usually the guy in the passenger seat is supposed to be holding it, doing all this stuff and then just
Hmm.
basically
Kind of recording
giving
everything, and
those
then
instructions to the driver, put it
yeah.
into, first, put it into second, put it into
Hmm.
third, let's get a reading. He goes,
He's
well,
doing this, and
I was
then he's
shifting and
looking.
I'm looking down. I'm like, well, that's your first mistake. You took your eyes off the road.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, come on, man.
well, no, your first mistake was
No, your first mistake was
buying a very
buying the
expensive
laptop,
car.
buying the laptop, and buying an expensive car.
Yeah.
That was your mistake. First mistake.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
god, that is idiotic. That's I don't. That's idiotic. I don't.
I'm so glad I don't have money. I'm just so glad I don't have any money and I can't do that stupid stuff. I'm just, and I'm glad that, I'm older and that, like I'm more fragile and that
Dude.
I drive as slow as to drive Miss Daisy. So I'm just, you know, I'm glad. I'm an old white guy and I just,
So
you know,
that said I'm not trying, not trying. No, no. Said George what? No, no, no. Mm-mm. But oh my god, yeah, and that I had a few customers like that. I worked at Staples. Oh my god, I had this one dude that would always come in, and when you talk to him, he sounds like he's you know reasonably intelligent.
hmm
So he's bringing in systems. He's able to fully tell you exactly what's going on, what he thinks the problem is. What problems were before when things happened. Able to tell when it happened. What he did. The whole nine.
hmm
But when it came time, when I would start scanning a system or I do anything with it, dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb as a box of rocks. Like I would start scanning and he's like, well, what does this do? This is like, and it would be like the fourth or fifth time he'd be in the store. And so he should know we have the exact same process. You check it in. We plug it up, power it on. We see what exactly is happening with the system. We do an initial diagnostic. And then from there, we get you in the system, or we give your system back and you go do what you're gonna do.
hmm
Doesn't change, and he's been in plenty of times to where he knows this, but every time it's always the same question: what are you doing? I'm doing a scan. Well, how long is that gonna take? It takes how long it takes. Well, what's it looking for?
I'm
Looking
just
for
looking
stuff.
for dumb people asking me dumb questions.
It's looking for stuff
That
that's
com-
wrong. And it was just. And so there, and I know this one particular time, I'm doing everything, getting all checked into the system and everything, and so we would plug systems up remotely, and so there was they were working two teams. The ones that would do like some of the uh, cleanups and some virus scans, building, you know, doing the building of computers, and that's what my job was. And then there would be some that would do the remote end, which they would do a more thorough and extensive, just diagnostic test of, just everything, full virus, malware scan, whole nine. That usually takes anywhere from about a day, 2 days, 3 days, depending on just how much just effed up your system is. So, checked it in, plugged it up, and just waiting for the other team to virtual in so they could go do their part of it. So I'm going do my regular job, like nothing. Every time I would touch the system, he said, "Well, what are you doing with that?" I'm checking the system out. "Well, is it gonna mess with mine?" No, this is somebody else, and this is completely independent of yours. "Oh, okay." I check another system. "What are you doing there? Is that messing mine?" No. This is completely independent. It's not messing with yours. "Oh, okay." I go touch a third one. "Oh, what are you doing there? Is that messing with mine?" Again, sir, no. It's not going to mess with anything of yours. It's just, I'm just doing my normal job. Yours won't be, I won't know anything about your system until tomorrow. So, I mean, if you want to stay and watch, you want to stay and sit up there at the front counter and watch and stay out there and stare at your system until tomorrow, you're more than welcome to.
but we have to close the stores at 11.
But we got to close. I mean, you can stay right here if you want to. He goes, "Oh, I don't have that much patience." I said, "All right, well, take care, man." But every time, it was always something like that. But that was the most memorable time. But again, and like I said, he could tell you everything. What happened, what's going on, what he did, everything, the whole nine. I knew exactly what would happen, or I knew exactly what was wrong. But every time we would start doing something, dumb as a box of rocks. Every time, just dumb as a. It's always like this. The second that I hit the power button, it's just everything deleted out his brain.
Could have been like that wireless electricity. I don't know.
Oh my god, that was. And then there was one lady that never plugged in her computer and was mad because it didn't work. It's like, did you plug it up? What do you mean? And on that, we have come to the end of the show.
Yes, we have.
And so that was fun.
Yeah, that
Talked
was.
talked about a lot of stuff. Some apps, some Macs, some stupid people, some games. And so yeah. And again, for everybody listening, we are developing an app, GCPR app on Android. So if you want to beta test and sign up to be a beta tester for us, you can email us at gcprhelpdesk@gmail.com with the subject of beta tester. And so on that, I'm going to say goodbye and adieu to everyone. George?
I will say goodbye, and God bless everyone. And there wasn't anybody in the chat, but hey, that's par for the course. So
That is, but I mean, we still got some viewers, so hey, as long as you're watching, it's all good. So
I got 3 minutes to get into TKE tonight.
Yep,
So we have TKE tonight coming next at 8 o'clock with Jeff Kennedy, and he sent me the link, and I got to get into that one. And
all right, so we're gonna go ahead and end this because George has got double duty, and so
Yep.
we got Jeff Kennedy coming up next, and T Nathan right after. So
At
everybody,
11.
so